Hello there, if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. This guy is the fattest person in the world. His name is Jon Brower Minnoch. He had a disease that caused his body to hold on to too much fluid. He gained up to 1,400 pounds and died at just 41 years old. Most of the Guinness World Records get broken over time, but one hasn't been broken in 4 decades. Jon set a world record for being the heaviest person in March 1978, when he weighed 1,400 pounds or 635 kilograms. Jon's parents knew he would be a big man by the time he was a teenager. At the age of 12, he weighed 294 pounds, which is almost 100 pounds more than a newborn elephant. After 10 years, he was over 6 feet tall and had gained another 100 pounds. By the time he was 25, he weighed almost 700 pounds. It also weighs the same as 100 bowling balls. 10 years later, he was 975 pounds. Even though Jon weighed about as much as a polar bear, he was not at a record weight. Jon Brower Minnoch was born on Bainbridge Island, Washington. He had been overweight since he was a child, but doctors didn't start to worry until his weight started going up quickly. Jon was carrying a huge amount of extra weight, and he was also starting to have health problems because of it, like congestive heart failure and edema, or swelling from having too much fluid in his body. Because of his weight, he had heart failure in 1978 and was taken to the University Hospital in Seattle. It took more than a dozen firefighters and a stretcher that had been improved to get him to the hospital. Once he got there, it ended up taking 13 nurses to place him in a special bed, which was really just 2 hospital beds tried to push together. His doctor thought he weighed about 1,400 pounds while he was in the hospital. This was at best an estimate, since Jon's size made it hard to weigh him accurately. They also thought that about 900 of his 1,400 pounds were caused by too much fluid building up. As soon as the doctor saw how big he was, he put him on a strict diet and told him he could only eat up to 1,200 calories a day. The diet worked for a while, and he lost more than 924 pounds in a year, down to 476. At the time, it was the most weight a person had ever lost. But 4 years later, he was back at 796 pounds, having gained back about half of the weight he had lost. Jon's life was pretty normal, even though he was very big and went on and off diets. In 1978, he broke the record for being the heaviest person ever. That same year, he married a woman named Jeanette, and the two of them were so different in weight that they set a new world record. His wife, on the other hand, weighed just over 110 pounds, while he weighed 1,400 pounds. After that, they had 2 children. Because of his size, he had some health problems that made his life short. Jon died just a few days before his 42nd birthday. Because he was so heavy, his edema was almost impossible to treat, and in the end, it was what killed him. But his bigger-than-life legacy lives on, because no one has been able to beat his huge record in the last 40 years. A man in Mexico who weighs 1,230 pounds comes close, but Jon Brower Minnoch is still the heaviest person who has ever lived.